and everything. What's going on?
Yeah, Sam Perkins going to join us.
Sam
Played, of
Perkins.
course,
This is
North
exciting.
Carolina, first round, fourth overall pick. Played for Dallas, the Lakers, the Sonics, Indiana Pacers, and we welcome him to
He
Sacramento.
played on some great teams, man.
Yeah,
Some great teams.
yeah. We're just getting set for Sam Perkins. By the way, Drapes, no surprise, he has very large hands, Mr. Sam Perkins.
Really?
Doesn't he? Oh my goodness!
Damn, Sam.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
How are you, Sam?
All gravy right now.
Yeah.
Appreciate you jumping on, man. How you
Yeah,
been?
thank you.
Good, good, good.
Yeah. Sam, what do you remember the most about when you played against the Kings here in Sacramento? What do you remember about the
A damn cowbell.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
I couldn't stand it.
Yeah?
I mean, but I think it was, I can't remember for sure, but Phil Jackson is the one who said this is place for cows or something like that.
yes.
So that's how the cowbell started, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but seriously, there's some tough games up here because you had Weber, Christie, I believe.
Sure. And Bibby and
Bibby.
Vlade. Yeah.
Vlade.
Yeah.
So it was all good. It was competitive for a minute, and they made a run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Sam, looking at your stats, and, one of the things I look at, you are one of the original stretch bigs, if
Right.
you will. I see here, one season you took 4.4 threes, 4.2. That's a lot for a big, even kind of today. Can you imagine what you'd be putting up today? You ever think about that? You'd be putting 8, 9 a game out there.
Well, it wouldn't be special because everybody be doing it.
Yeah.
But I was just born too early, I guess. But in some sense, but back then, the coaches, how it started, trying to make it short.
We got time.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing going on.
I shot with Byron Scott one day.
Okay.
And I was doing my big man stuff. They split them back then. So I was doing my big man moves, and then I came down here, and Mike Dunleavy, of all people, my coach, he was like, come down here and get some of this young fella. And I was like, you talking to me? And I didn't know, because I was walking off court.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so with that said, I came and took a ball, and they, 5 spots around, 5 spots back. Well, by the time it was my time to shoot, I didn't shoot because they made it 5 times around and 5 times back because I had missed one, and I never got to shoot
do it
again.
Oh.
So as time went on, I kept doing that, and it got better and better. I almost beat Dunleavy, but I never did.
And he was a good shooter, right?
Yeah,
When
he
played,
was.
a
He
good
was
shooter.
playing. He was still active. He was
Yeah.
still, So he said we need to implement this in the game. So you keep working on it. So time went on. That's how it started. And then Vlade kind of got in the scene, and we were starting shooting threes. But more or less, when I got to Seattle, George Carl already knew what he was going to do with me because he had 5 out, and I believe he got that from Nelson.
Yeah.
So with all that said, it was more strategy because we had a lot of big guys in the league, Akeem, Robinson, you had Eaton, you had all these guys that guarded me, and it messed up their concept because Gary would go to the hole or Hershey would go to the hole, and by that time I'm sitting there waiting for a ball to come to me all by myself, no rotation, and I would just hit it, hit the three, so top of the key. So it was more strategy for our team back then, more so than today. I don't know, it was analytics or something like that.
Yeah. Was that Sam Perkins nice enough to join us? Is that the biggest change to your eye in the game from when you played to today? Is just how many threes and the pace at which people are playing?
Yeah, you hear them talk about, they rather have threes. If you have a 2, throw it back out, stuff like that. But
You will see that now, right? Guy will be at the rim.
Yeah, I mean,
throw it into the corner. Yeah.
and it behooves me that they do that. But I mean, the mid range is slightly coming back. But I would probably take mid ranges now more than anything because of the way the ball bounces and it comes right back to you. But I heard coaches get mad at their players because they're not taking the three, for some strange reason. But that's how it is today.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey Sam, you played with Jordan in college. You went against him a couple times in the finals. I want to go back to your time in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Worthy. I mean, you had some studs. But did you see something special in Mike that freshman year of his?
Yeah, I was just going to correct you on one thing. He played with me.
All right, my bad.
I
You're
was
right.
there first.
Yeah, you were.
That's right.
You're right.
But I tell him that too. I clown him too. I mean,
Yeah.
Even though he was a special guy, back then we just played. We just were kids. We were just playing because of Coach Smith. Whatever Coach Smith said, that's what we did. And it was his way or no way. And but you can see it in the first time we practiced. He was like jumping a little crazier, a little higher, making more moves. His tongue sticking out, and we said he was going to bite it off, and he got bit off a little bit. So I mean, you could see it as time went on, but because we played in college so controlled, and sometimes he let loose, you can see it coming. But the way he took off in the NBA that first rookie year, we were like unreal. It was unreal to see that he did so much like that. But he was a pivotal guy when crunch time came. I mean, he was a defensive guy more so against the guys when we need to lock him up, like Duke. He came up when we played Duke, Clemson, State.
He was a great shot blocker as a guard, right?
Yeah, he would chase down similar to LeBron, back then, and get up just to get up.
Yeah.
Michael was real in college. As I look back now, because they've sent us DVDs now. They put all that footage that was on film.
Yeah.
It's now preempt to DVD, and so you get to see some of the greatness of, and it's still without the cloudiness.
Oh, it's still okay. All right. Yeah.
High def. High def.
Well, slow
4K.
down.
Right.
The great
It's
Sam,
not 4K. It's not 4K.
Sam Perkins is with us. As Kyle mentioned, you had a couple shots at Mike in the finals, 91 Lakers, and then in 96 your Seattle team, which was a part of their second, three-peat. That Seattle team, taking nothing away from the all-time great Bulls, that was a great team you guys had. I thought you had a shot at them, but be that as it may, that Sonics team that went to the finals, that was a great team, right?
Well, the Sonics team, oh my God, it had to be built to come to that structure because George Karl is his way or no way again, and he played a little different from the styles that other teams may have.
And he was a Carolina guy too, right?
He's a Carolina guy, so he traded for me, and I didn't know why because Derek McKee, Eddie Johnson, they had Gary Shawn. So
Right.
Detlef
Was he there?
I don't know if Detlef was there or not. Ricky Pierce.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why they need me, but for the game stretchness to his offense. And so that's what I was talking about earlier. We played against big guys. I was sitting out and he was like, so he was like, I don't care, keep shooting because it changed it of the game at the time. So Gary would go in for layups, Sean would be there for dunks, and the big guys standing out here guarding air. But that team was special because we lost to Denver. We lost to an eighth place team, and that got us going for future reference. And we brought some other guys in, Kendall Gill, Askew, and Jim McIlvain. Even had my man Frank Perkowski.
Oh,
Frank Perkowski. Yeah.
So it was a show. It was a close team. We got to, since we built it. That's why I say it was kind of built funny in a way to all of us got along together. And that's when I got acclimated into the community, and so we all did. And Detlef, I love Detlef for that team. We played against with him, and it was nice. It was nice to play with that team right there. We lost to Chicago, but it was just the fact that we thought we had a good chance, but we just didn't. We just didn't have the experience, I guess, like Chicago did at the time.
Would you guys have beaten Chicago when you were with the Lakers if Worthy and Byron Scott, I think, got hurt that series?
Yeah, I told him. I said, y'all get hurt. Y'all been winning. Y'all win all this time, and then when I get here, y'all get hurt. And I can't believe it. And so
y'all took game one of that series,
yeah, we
right?
took game one on this. So they were shocked. Chicago was shocked that we won game one, but we. Dunleavy preached like all we got to get is one here and make a difference. We tried to get two, but it didn't work out. But yeah, Worthy, I can't put it on them, but they got hurt. Magic was thinking about retiring. I'm like, why now? Don't say this. Don't say this.
Hey.
But I think we would have had a better chance if either one of them was still healthy a little bit.
Can you believe, Sam, that Seattle doesn't have an NBA team? And I know they're talking about expansion, so maybe they address that.
Yeah.
But
well, I keep asking Silver every time was on the board of the Retired Players Association. He would always come in for a visit, and the first question was like, when is Seattle getting a team? And so Seattle and Vegas was up next. But now they ventured to maybe put that on hold and go expand overseas a little bit. I don't know what they're trying to do now, but Seattle, it was a place everybody, even the guys on other teams were like coming up there because it was so different. Lifestyle was a little different up there, and it was sort of my pace. Because it wasn't New York, but it was definitely like slow, laid back a little bit.
you're a Brooklyn guy, right?
Yeah, I'm a Brooklyn guy.
Yeah.
But because of Brooklyn and New York, I was able to read a book for the first time. So you had time to do that. So with all that said, with rain and everything, you stay inside a lot.
Right.
And but it was a pretty place. It's still a pretty place in the summers, and the wintertime is kind of nice.
Sam, talking about Seattle, one of my favorite guys growing up, and I know you get this question quite a bit, but just really breaking it down and just looking at you face to face, Sean Kemp.
Sean.
What does Sean really mean to the NBA?
Well, first of all, Sean, I mean, with all his attributes and the way he played, he was special.
Yeah.
And Seattle loved him. The part that kind of made him humanized because he was so young. He came in out of high school.
Right.
So you got this guy untamed, and there's not a vet with him because he came in with Gary and some of these guys. I mean, he came with people with his own, older than him, but not as old as him. But there was no vets there to take care of him. So with all that said, he did it his way. He thought he was playing basketball and being a kid, but having fun on the court. And so he was just untamed, a tame specimen. And so when you do that,
That's a good way to put it.
yeah, I can't without making it bad.
Right.
He did a lot of good things and bad things, but I loved him.
Yeah.
And he made the game look so easy because he had the ability to jump so high, but he was really clever in the way he played. He just had a way of playing because no one else taught him any other way to play. He came from Elkhart, Indiana.
Yep.
And that's how he played the rest of his game until he grew up and saw I can be one of the stars and premier stars in this league. But he just wasn't there, and he missed the opportunity.
Wow.
Sam Perkins joining us. Sam, you played under George Karl. We had him as coach here in Sacramento for a brief stint. Can you just talk about what that experience was like, with those Sonics teams. You got personalities like Sean and Gary, George Karl, a personality too. Can you just speak to that? And what
Well, I
that was
mean,
like?
everything wasn't rosy. You got George Karl with his ways. We had Tim Gergrich.
Yeah.
We had Bobby Weiss.
Hmm.
We had a lot of Brendan Malone was there for a
Oh yeah,
minute,
yeah, yeah.
just for a minute,
Michael's father.
and Gary and Gary didn't like to practice. So with that said, we all had to practice. We couldn't do what we've done without practice because that's how we got to know each other.
Yeah.
Oh, David Wingate was there.
David
So
Wingate, yeah.
with all that, we had to practice, but Gary didn't want to practice, and so Coach Carl and him bumped heads a couple of times. But it was for the best because they became closer. They finally reached the point to. We had to trick Gary to play. We made it so competitive while we were playing. He was talking on the sidelines. He's like sitting over here, and he was like, take and win,
Yeah.
or he can't stop you. So we was like, man, be quiet. So we made him come out there because we were playing so much
Right, right.
competitive that now we got Gary to practice. You know what I'm saying? Now, Gary didn't know we were trying to egg him on.
Right.
But the point was that we had to get, if we wanted to go far, we needed Gary.
Yeah.
And so with that said, we practiced a lot, 3-on-3, 4-on-4. To Gary, we made it competitive to the point where Gary just couldn't resist to come out there, like show us. Then, well, show me that you
Right, right. You doing all that talking?
You're
Come
doing
on
that
out here.
talking.
Yeah,
Come on
yeah.
out here. We bust you
Yeah.
up too. So we made a practice. So I mean, we had times like that, but going through the Western Conference with Portland was probably the better series
Yeah.
because we were so close
Right.
in proximity. That it was, we had good
Man.
games against them
Yeah.
with Buck, Jerome Kersey, and all those guys. So,
Yeah.
but the Lakers was just as awesome as ever because of Magic.
Right.
And Gary is a talker. He's the talker of the crew,
I was going to ask you about that. If you can share how much he.
and he talked the whole game like loud, like real so loud to the point that people in the stands can hear actually what he's saying.
Wow.
I don't know if the courts were mic'd up or not, but NBA Entertainment got a lot of mouth, a lot of voice, choice of words. But I mean, and then we had to go through, come here, Sacramento, and those games weren't easy either. So I mean, we had some games, as you know, those games are real tough, but. We got them a couple of times. They got us a couple of times, but Weber was real tough.
Yeah.
Jason Williams was real tough.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. So we couldn't. We had. That's why I kept saying we had to play. That team was so built to the point where we kind of had to know each other so good that we would try to face whatever challenge each night
Yeah.
against any team. Because we had different personnel on each team, that it was the craziest. Because it was no slouch teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no
No
slouch.
nights off.
No nights off.
Uh-huh.
So you had to come and play. So when we come to play or they come to play at us, you don't want to lose at home because home records at the time were looked upon more exclusive than anything.
Yeah. Sam Perkins with us. To your point about Gary Payton and Coach Carl, I was doing a radio show when Gary Payton made the Hall of Fame. He was on once a week. And so when we had him on, when he had been named to the Hall of Fame, we called George Karl and said, would you come on? He's like, yes, absolutely. We went on to talk to him because of how close they had become. But as far as playing with Magic, was that an adjustment at all? I know you knew him and you'd seen him and played against him, but was it a little different playing with a guy who threw passes like that?
Of course. I mean, the first time I came from the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Totally different world from what Laker show was. I mean, it's stepped up. It's more like you got to show up every night. You can do what you want off the court, but when you come to the game, you got to put on a performance. So One time, I remember, this is how crazy it was. I was running so fast, trying to get to the outside lane, and Magic passed a dime to me. But I ran so fast, I passed the basket. I found myself out of
Out
bounds,
of bad.
and I threw it up there. And he's like, "What? Why'd you? Why?" He said, "Stop." I was like, "Well, I couldn't stop because I ran so fast trying to make a play for you." But playing with Magic, I'm sitting right next to him in the locker. I'm between him and James Worthy, and I'm sitting next to them because when I first got there, I had to understand what Lakers show was.
Yeah.
And so every night they say, you just come with it. You got you here for a reason. Make that reason stick out.
Yeah.
So, but it's different playing with him because he demanded so much. He takes over the game when he backs down people. He gets his assists, he gets his points. And I've never seen a guy that controls the game and the coach is standing over there can't do nothing about it.
Really? Wow. Hey.
But he passed dimes to Byron Scott, and it's almost like you just felt like whatever they miss, you can get because there was never a play for you. He throw it into you, give you a dog bone or a biscuit or something like that. But I love playing with him because he was so professional. Like I never seen I'm tired sometimes, but he's still going, even in practice. Okay, let's go for an hour and a half. Now you might the coach, and he said we're going for 2 hours. He turns around. Okay, let's go. We're going for an hour and a half.
Oh, snap.
So we go for an hour and a half.
Right.
But we make that we make that hour and a half special, and he made it. We would work basically. We worked the whole time, no matter what. We had days off, but when you come on that court, it's a whole different story. So that's how the organization and the determination was there.
Yeah. Finals with Magic against Michael. You played against Michael when you were with Gary Payton and the Sonics, and then towards the end of your career, you had a shot at Kobe and Shaq in the finals,
Yeah.
right?
Go figure.
I know, right, man?
They stayed around. Michael retired, and they stay around, and I get the best of those two, and Phil Jackson again. But it was strange because I didn't notice that was me and Michael first time in the '91, our first finals since coming back to play each other in college. So that was our first one. Even though his first one, it was my first one too, and we had to play against each other as ex-teammates.
Michael got to play with you.
Yeah.
You saw him in the finals. Was he feared in the league, you think?
Oh, no doubt.
Really?
I mean,
Come on. Say what?
So they called him, I'm sure you already know, the Black Cat.
Black Cat.
And so now that you hear Byron Scott talk, you hear Gil Arenas talk, these guys, they wanted to go back at him, but they just didn't know how because he was so quick. Kendall Gill tried to go at him and try to, duplicate his moves and things of this nature. The only one that can go back at him was probably Kobe. Yeah. And so these guys, I think guys were talking about on their podcast now, these guys, they couldn't get no sleep the night before when they played them because they were worried about. They can do it against anybody else, but they couldn't do it against Mike because they was trying to go back at Mike. And then some guys were successful, and Mike remembers this and shuts them down the next time when they go east-west, whatever. So that's how competitive Mike was, and that's how his mentality was each game. Because you might have gotten 35 on him this time, but you ain't going to get 35 on him the next time. So, I mean, he was even like that in college. First bag off the plane, he bet.
Really?
Something really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really crazy stuff. But he would always be competitive. And I got a story to tell you. We were in the Olympics, and it was it was me, Vern, Alvin Robinson. I don't know if you know these guys.
Yeah,
Y'all too young. Y'all too young to know these
that's
guys.
my heyday.
Come on now.
Okay, so it was Alverson, it was Vern,
Yeah.
it was Leon Wood, Wayman Tisdale, Joe Klein.
Bunch of kings you just named.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Izzy and Klein, yeah.
The guy from the tall guy from SMU.
No, you talking about John Concac?
Concac.
Yep. I got the list right here.
Okay, so they played dice one night.
Okay.
They played dice like any other day after practice. Coach and I had us in there forever.
Yeah.
So when we had downtime, we had downtime. So they played dice that night. They played the dice game called CeeLo.
Yeah.
And you couldn't roll craps.
Right.
So anyway, Michael didn't know how to play, but Michael was so competitive he wanted to play. So they got the money out of the ATMs or whatever, or our per diem or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Alvin Robinson, Vern Fleming took his money. And now they took his money only because they knew he didn't know how to play. Like, give me that, you know. Like, you know. So Mike
Literally took his money.
took his money.
All right.
He took his money so bad that Leon Wood had to go fetch money from the ATM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when that happened, in one day, in one night, he wanted to play the next night. He learned how to play, and he took all their money.
What?
He took their money back because he didn't know how to play the
First night. Yeah.
The second time they played, he took everybody's money. Took everybody's money. And that's what I'm saying. He was so competitive at everything.
Yeah.
He hate losing. And
Yeah.
so that's Michael.
Let me ask you about that '84 Olympic team, because I was just watching a documentary, 30 for 30, I think it was, on the ESPN, talking about, I think it was that 1984 draft. Charles Barkley
Yes.
got cut. Set the record straight. Should Charles have been on that team?
He should have, no
Really?
doubt.
Okay.
Somebody wouldn't have been on that team. But
Somebody.
somebody would. Okay, there's 75 guys trying out, and 2 underclassmen, Chuck Person and I want to say Johnny Dawkins.
Johnny Dawkins, yeah.
And so we went 3 straight times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. Charles was a character, and I believe this is the reason why he didn't make the team, because let's say you're Bobby Knight. I'm joking with you the whole time. Like, those are some nice Adidas. Where you get them from? You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Something unworthy of talking about.
Yeah.
And he would always joke with him, his personality, and he just the way he was.
Yeah.
So we went to breakfast and first cuts. We went through maybe 4 days of cuts. 4 days of practice, but 3 sessions. And you're tired, mad tired.
Yeah.
But he's still fooling around. He's still with his Barkley self.
Right. Yeah.
You know how Barkley is. Breakfast time came, 7:30 in the morning. You had to be down there at 7:15. The first name, Bobby Knight says, these are the guys who didn't make the team. Charles Barkley. So we were like, now Charles is now, don't get me wrong, he's doing every bit of good just like us in sessions.
Okay.
And for him to get cut like that, we said Charles Barkley. Now we don't know. We're thinking we don't know if we get
Y'all
cut.
not on this team either.
Yeah. So that's how good he was.
Yeah.
And because he was going against Antoine Carr,
Yeah.
Xavier McDaniel, some of the guys I just named.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shoot, I might not make this team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
North Carolina. So we were like, oh, man. So he named some names off, but Charles was the biggest one.
First guy he said was Charles?
First guy, Charles
He was sending
Barkley.
a message, huh?
Yeah, he said
Making
the
a point.
first name, I swear, Charles Barkley. and we were like, oh snap.
May not be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't know if you gonna be here, you gonna be
Yeah,
here.
yeah. If they cut Charles, then yeah.
So we thought that was his downfall, but I really think that that team, as all the names I've given you, Charles didn't fit that personality,
Right.
the
right.
the,
Of
the
team.
core, the
Yeah.
camaraderie,
Yeah.
because he would have been bigger than life, and they were looking for a team that was put together with a shooters, defense, rebounding, because you had Concat, Klein, myself, Raymond Tisdale, Chris Mullen.
Yeah, Mullen.
You had all these guys, and now Charles. So Charles would have been a standout
Yeah.
more so than a complacent type
Yeah.
Yeah.
player, you know.
Yeah. Sam Perkins is our guest. I'm not going to ask you the question everyone gets asked. Who knows? And we probably know what your answer would be. But let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that without Michael, there would have been no Kobe or LeBron? I mean, he was that influential. Without Michael, is it possible we never would have had a Kobe or LeBron?
You wouldn't have had a standard. You wouldn't have had a standard of an ability to perform that way. I mean, I look at films, tapes, and I see Kobe walk like Michael, and just walk, the
Yeah.
mannerisms. You wouldn't have had. You probably wouldn't have had Kobe like you would have Kobe. You probably would have had a different type of Kobe
Gotcha.
if it wasn't. He
Yeah.
didn't have an example before him. The example was set for LeBron, the standards, but LeBron is not no Jordan. He was
Right.
trying to compete and beat them out more so than be part of Michael's
Legacy
you know,
or
yeah.
yeah.
So there definitely wouldn't have been. I would say if there was no Michael, you would have had a different side of Kobe in a sense. You would have had the competitiveness, but as Kobe has been talking about as when he was alive, he studied Michael. He studied his ways. He studied his game. He studied how he approached the game, how serious he was, and that was Kobe, and that was Michael.
Yeah.
But LeBron is more like, I don't want to be like them. I want to be myself. And so when he came into the league, he came out of high school just like Kobe, but LeBron came with his own flair, and he had to show he could beat and be better than Michael and be better than Kobe.
But it stylistically wasn't LeBron, or isn't he, kind of more like Magic and Oscar Robertson?
Like they keep comparing to Michael. He's no Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
He's more on that side of Magic, big guard. You know, I mean, sometimes now Magic is concentrating the whole minutes of the game from first quarter to the fourth.
Yeah.
LeBron kind of takes off.
Yeah.
He takes off a little
and
bit.
chooses,
It gets a
yeah,
little
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
but he comes back and snaps back into it. But yeah, I would say he's more of a Magic than anything else. Gus Williams, somebody,
Gus Williams,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Smooth, man. You're from the East Coast, New York, of course. And more times than not, when you talk to people from New York, it's the mecca of basketball.
Yeah.
You can't get past anything unless you talk about New York. You've had the opportunity to play on the West Coast, Pacific Northwest, Midwest, South, comparing all of them. And I know probably going to talk about New York being the best, but where does New York really fit in the pantheon of basketball?
Well, New York, when I was coming up, New York was so strong with talent. You had guys who was dumb enough not to go to school,
Right.
but they had talent, and they missed out on a lot of college ingenuity because of the fact that they just couldn't go to class. But that talent was put on show at every park I went to, from Brevoort to West Fourth, Rucker. I mean, it was so concentrated because I used to watch everybody. That's how much talent it was. I got to watch a guy by the name of y'all may be too young for this guy Connie Hawkins.
Come on now.
man.
Come on now with the big hands. Come on now.
No, I ain't never heard of him. I didn't hear of him until I went to a basketball court in Nazareth Park, and it was Flatbush.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know that,
Come on now.
but
Come on, Sam. You selling the short, baby.
I'm just letting. I'm
We
just trying to
students of the
nice.
game, man.
All right,
We
all right,
students
all
of the
right.
game.
Okay,
Connie Hawkins.
Connie Hawkins, and you had a guy named, which I wanted to go to Marquette,
Okay.
but they didn't recruit me. Sam Worthing, y'all ever heard of him?
Now I don't know that.
He
name.
played with the Chicago Bulls for a minute.
Okay. Okay.
But he was from New York. He was a wizard. And so, with that said, to answer the question, New York was the mecca because you had so much talent. People came there to just play and showcase what they had. You play a game to 11 and you lose, you may not get back on that court because when you lose, you can't. There's another team waiting.
Right. Yeah, you got
That's,
Wade.
that's so much talent coming ahead. So I saw Rolando Blackman,
Ooh.
all these
Yeah,
guys.
oh, yeah.
That was
I
your
s-
teammate in
yeah,
Dallas, too,
come on,
right?
I seen all these guys, and I'm like, oh man. So going from West Coast to East, I've never seen that anywhere else.
Right.
Because today's game is a little different now, but as time went on, I can only say maybe Indiana had basketball concentration because they were playing so much on any given night. It was the game. It was the night for basketball. Friday Night Lights, as they called it, in Indiana, where Bird and French Lick started coming up, and these guys were like real serious. Now you didn't have the showcase, the showstoppers of New York, but you still had basketball concentration in Indiana, where I talked to Larry Bird, and that's where he said he grew up, and you couldn't beat basketball in Indiana, even though he knows what went on on the East Coast.
Let me say this about Sam Perkins, fellas. I'm from Philly. I'm a Philadelphia native.
There you go.
And but this is why I like Sam, because usually when you have New Yorkers on,
Oh, man.
within the first minute,
Come on,
they tell you they from New
tell
York. You don't. I mean, I know you represent proudly, but
Right.
you don't come in
Save
with
that.
the
Yeah,
you
yeah.
save it.
In fact,
You
I
let
mentioned
us-
Brooklyn. He
Yeah,
didn't.
you didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
Usually with New Yorkers,
Well,
you're
I
like,
figured you
I'm
knew
from
where.
New York.
I don't
you know
need
what
to
I mean?
pronounce it because you already know where I'm from.
Right.
So I don't need to brag about it. I was just like, if you don't know, in case you don't know, that's where I'm from.
Dude, I went to Temple University, and we used to have a lot of New Yorkers come down, and they would try to take over our school.
Of course.
Man, New Yorkers.
That's what New Yorkers do, man.
Well, I mean, Philly. I'm sorry, I forgot about Philly.
Yeah,
Philly
we had some hoopers.
You had some hoopers
Yes.
there too,
Yeah.
and Washington, and Baltimore.
Yeah, and East Baltimore.
They had tournaments and players that could hop and play, and so I grouped Chicago in there with Philly and Baltimore because those were the players. You had Mark Aguirre, you had Cummings.
Terry Cummings.
Cummings,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you had ball players spotted. Garnett, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But New York was special because you played. I mean, you had fights after the game. You go into Queens, you may not come out of Queens. You running out of Queens if you beat them to death. You know what I mean? So
QB.
Well, we appreciate your time very much. Thank you. Very generous with your time, and
Oh,
we've learned a lot.
thanks for having me.
Yeah. So
Great Sam Perkins. Yeah.